All right, get ready, because today we are really going to deep dive into what it takes to make a small food business successful.
Yeah, thriving, really.
Thriving, exactly. We've got some amazing source material,
Yeah.
like advice straight from a super experienced food entrepreneur, and it's tactical. No nonsense,
Absolutely.
straight to the point. Get ready for some serious insights.
Real talk. No sugarcoating here.
Yeah, this is about results.
Results.
Okay, so first up, they really dive right into this concept of building a brand that goes way beyond just like having a cool logo.
Right.
You know, they're talking about crafting a story, an emotional connection with your customers.
Mm-hmm.
It's almost like each bite, tells a tale. What do you think about that?
I think it's, such an important point. And it's really about considering the whole experience. You think about your own experience. Have you ever had food that like instantly transported you back, to a childhood memory?
Oh.
Or maybe a dish that just felt like a warm hug?
Mm-hmm.
That's the power of emotional connection in food.
Yeah.
It's not just fuel. It's an experience. It's tied to our senses, our memories,
Yeah.
even our cultural identity.
The source actually had this great line. They said, home-cooked comfort, like a hug in every bite.
I love that.
And I thought, who hasn't craved that feeling? Like at some point, we all have that.
Yeah, we all crave comfort. And tapping into nostalgia, that warm, fuzzy feeling you get from certain foods, I mean, that's powerful, right?
A marketing tool, for sure.
Absolutely.
So the source is spot on when they say that when you build that emotional connection, you are building a loyalty that goes way beyond just satisfying a craving. You're offering an experience.
It's an experience.
Okay, so let's talk about social media.
Yes.
They talk a lot about social media, but not just posting like beautiful pictures of food.
Right.
It's all about using platforms like Instagram and TikTok
Mm-hmm.
to tell a story, evoke those feelings we talked about.
Yeah.
Is it really that crucial?
It is. I mean, a decade ago, this advice wouldn't have made as much sense.
Right.
But today, social media is essential for food businesses. It's not just about showcasing the food. It's about inviting people in.
Yeah.
Think about all those behind-the-scenes videos that you see.
Mm-hmm.
Chef in the kitchen, the story of how a dish is made.
Yes.
That builds trust.
Transparency.
Transparency, exactly.
Yeah, for sure. And I think that's what I find myself drawn to, are those accounts that feel more personal.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like you're getting to know the people behind the food.
Mm-hmm.
But how do you translate that engagement into, actual results for your business?
Well, that's where strategy comes in, right?
Right. Hey.
I mean, like, remember that part in your source material where they mentioned partnering with that niche food blogger and seeing their sales skyrocket? I mean, that wasn't just luck.
Right.
It was a targeted approach, finding the right influencers. Ones whose audience aligns with yours can make a huge difference.
It's like a trusted friend recommending something.
Yeah.
You're more likely to go check it out. Absolutely. Okay, let's talk about something that can make or break a business.
Reviews.
Reviews. Yes. This entrepreneur really emphasizes the power of word of mouth, especially online reviews.
It's huge.
How vital are those these days?
Think about the last time you tried a new restaurant. Did you check the reviews?
Of course.
Chances are, yeah, you did. Reviews are everything. They're the new word of mouth, and yeah, they can make or break you.
It's like those please leave a review cards you used to see. Remember those?
Oh, yeah.
Like that simple tactic. It shows you understand how much those reviews matter.
Absolutely.
But isn't it more than just getting good reviews? Like, how do you handle the inevitable bad ones?
Oh, that's where things get interesting.
Yeah.
It's not just about getting praise.
Yeah.
It's about how you respond to criticism. Because remember, you're not just talking to that one person who left the review. You're showcasing your business to everyone who reads it. So responding thoughtfully, even to negative comments, shows you care about your customers and are always looking to improve.
So you're saying it's not about being defensive.
Right.
It's about using it as an opportunity to learn and grow.
Yeah.
I like that. Before we move on, what's standing out to you so far from what we've talked about? What are you thinking?
Well, I'm curious to hear your thoughts too. I mean, take a moment to consider how these concepts apply to, your own experiences with food businesses. What resonates?
Yeah, great point. Now, this entrepreneur also really emphasizes the power of partnerships, like thinking beyond just your kitchen and collaborating with other businesses and influencers.
Yeah.
They even shared a story about how they started reaching out to local cafes and offering to, supply them with baked goods, and that led to this huge boost in their business.
Wow.
What are your thoughts on that?
I mean, I think their story is a perfect example of how powerful partnerships can be. It's about recognizing that you don't have to do everything alone.
Yeah.
And by collaborating, you can reach a wider audience and leverage each other's strengths, right?
Yeah. So it's about being proactive, finding those businesses that align with your values,
Yeah,
reaching out to explore potential collaborations. It seems almost too simple.
right.
Are there any downsides?
I mean, you're absolutely right about being proactive. Sitting back and waiting for things to happen is rarely a good strategy.
Yeah.
As for downsides, I mean, there could be challenges if you don't choose your partners carefully.
Yeah. Right.
So that's why it's so crucial to find businesses that share your values and your target audience. A mismatched partnership can do more harm than good.
That makes total sense. So it's all about finding those win-win situations where everyone benefits.
Exactly.
But let's shift gears a bit and talk about something this entrepreneur is super passionate about. A seamless online presence.
Yes.
They really emphasize the importance of a user-friendly online ordering system.
Absolutely.
Especially on mobile. I think we've all had that experience of trying to navigate a clunky website on our phones.
Oh, it's the worst.
Right. Like frustrating.
Ah,
Yeah, it is.
and they're spot on about that. I mean, think about it from the customer's perspective. You're hungry.
Yeah.
You're on your phone. You just want to order some delicious food quickly.
Easily.
If your website's difficult to navigate, if the ordering process is a nightmare, you've lost a customer.
Yeah, you've lost me.
For sure.
For sure. And it's not just about ordering, it's about the entire experience, right?
Exactly.
Is your website visually appealing? Does it load quickly?
Right.
Does it actually reflect your brand?
All those things matter. And let's not forget about SEO,
Oh, yeah.
search engine optimization.
Yeah, so
If
important.
people can't find you on Google, you're missing out.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So it's about making it as easy as possible for people to find you, learn about your business, and ultimately place that order.
Place that order.
Now, let's talk about something that, a hot topic.
A little bit controversial sometimes, paid advertising. Our entrepreneur has some really interesting kind of mixed feelings about it,
Yeah.
but they really emphasize targeted strategies and careful tracking. So I'm curious what your perspective is on this.
Well, I mean, paid advertising can be a powerful tool,
Oh, for sure.
but it's definitely not a magic bullet.
Yeah.
You can't just throw money at it and expect instant results.
Right.
It requires a strategic approach, careful planning, constant monitoring.
They make a really good point about not just setting and forgetting ads.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
You got to analyze those campaigns,
yeah.
adjust them, making sure you're getting the most bang for your buck, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And that's where the data comes in.
The data.
You have to track your metrics, understand what's working, what's not,
Yep,
make informed decisions based on those insights.
absolutely.
Speaking of data, our entrepreneur is a firm believer in constantly measuring and adapting marketing strategies based on the results.
Love that.
Not just having a hunch, but actually backing it up with the data.
Yes, so important.
Right.
The food industry is constantly evolving, and you need to be able to adapt to stay relevant. Data gives you the insights you need to stay ahead of the curve.
So it's not just about having a great product. It's about constantly analyzing your performance, getting feedback, and adapting your approach based on what you learn.
Exactly. And what's really exciting is that technology has made it easier than ever
Oh, yeah.
to gather and analyze data. There are so many tools and resources available to help.
It's incredible.
Yeah, it is.
But it can also feel overwhelming. Like, how do you know which metrics to focus on? What actually matters?
That's a great question, and it's something we'll definitely dive into after a quick break.
Okay, we'll be right back after this. So, before the break, we were talking about all that data.
Yeah, all that data.
So much. How do you know which metrics you should really be focusing on? What really makes a difference?
That's a really good question. There's no, one-size-fits-all answer.
Okay.
Really, it depends on your business goals. Like, what are you trying to do? Increase brand awareness,
Yeah.
boost online orders,
Mhm.
improve customer satisfaction. Each of those require you to look at different metrics.
So let's say, if you're focusing on increasing online orders, what kind of data would you be looking at?
Well, first, you'd want to track your website traffic.
Okay.
How many people are visiting your website?
Yeah.
Where are they coming from? Are they finding you through search engines, social media, direct links? Understanding where your traffic's coming from can really tell you a lot about which marketing efforts are working.
So it's not just about getting people to your website. It's about understanding how they got there.
Exactly.
What happens once they're on your site?
That's where conversion rates come in.
Okay.
Out of all those visitors, how many are actually placing those orders?
Yeah.
If you're getting a lot of traffic but very few orders, that could indicate a problem with your website,
Right.
the ordering process,
Mm.
maybe even your pricing.
So you're looking for bottlenecks.
Yeah,
Is that those places where people are like, I'm out?
Right, I'm out of here.
Yeah, exactly. What about social media?
Social media metrics are definitely important, especially if you're trying to build brand awareness and engagement.
Mm-hmm.
So you'll want to track things like how many people are liking, sharing, commenting on your posts. Are you reaching your target audience?
Yeah.
Is your content actually resonating?
Okay. What about ROI?
Return on investment.
Yeah, can you actually measure that with something like social media?
It can be tricky, but it's definitely possible.
Okay.
There are tools out there that can help you track how much revenue you're generating from your social media efforts. You can also look at things like how many people are clicking on links in your bio, visiting your website from social media, using special discount codes.
So you can actually see if those likes and shares are actually leading to sales.
Exactly, that's the goal.
Okay, that's pretty cool. It sounds like a lot to keep track of.
There is.
Yeah.
But remember, you don't have to do it all at once.
Right.
Start by focusing on a few key metrics aligned with your business goals. As you get more comfortable, you can expand.
So start small.
Start small.
Build from there.
Exactly.
This entrepreneur really emphasized understanding the story behind the data. What do they mean by that?
They're talking about going beyond just the surface level numbers and really digging into the why.
Okay.
Like, for example, let's say you notice a spike in traffic after posting a certain type of content. Don't just celebrate and move on, right?
Right.
Ask yourself, why did that content resonate?
Okay, yeah.
What was it about that specific post?
So it's like being a detective.
Exactly.
Look for those clues, the patterns.
And those clues are in the data. You just have to be willing to look for them.
It sounds like it's this constant process of experimenting, analyzing, refining.
It is. And that's why our entrepreneur was so adamant about being adaptable.
Right. Because what works today
might not work tomorrow.
Exactly.
You got to be flexible, agile, willing to learn.
Good reminder.
Always be learning.
Yeah. Okay, before we get into the next section, I want to go back to something we talked about before. Creating a brand that really resonates.
Yes.
This idea of infusing your food with a story, a deeper meaning. What are some practical ways to actually do that?
Well, I think it starts with being authentic.
Okay.
What makes your food special? What's the story behind your business? Your values.
Just so tapping into the heart of your business.
Exactly.
And sharing those stories with your customers.
And finding ways to connect with your audience on a deeper level.
Yeah.
What are their interests? What are their pain points? How can your food make their lives better?
So creating a relationship.
Yes.
Not just a transaction.
You got it.
Yeah.
And, sometimes it's the simplest things. A handwritten thank you note, a personalized message, a small gesture of kindness.
Those little touches.
Yeah.
They can go a long way.
Make you feel special.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And in a world where we're bombarded with choices, those experiences are what make people come back for more.
Exactly. It's not about the product. It's about the experience.
Precisely.
Okay, so we've talked about building a strong brand, leveraging social media, understanding your data, those personal connections.
Yeah.
But this entrepreneur also emphasized looking beyond your own business. Partnerships. What are your thoughts on that?
Partnerships can be so valuable.
Okay.
Especially for small businesses. Think about it. You have limited resources, time, reach. By partnering with someone else, you can tap into their resources, their audience, their expertise. It's a way to amplify your efforts.
Makes sense. They shared a story about reaching out to cafes, offering baked goods, and that was a turning point.
That's awesome.
But how do you find those partners? Where do you even start?
It starts with identifying businesses that share your values, your target audience.
Okay.
Look for synergies where your products or services complement each other. If you're a bakery, partner with a coffee shop.
Find those win-win situations.
Exactly. Win-win.
Where everybody benefits. But what about online?
That's where things get really interesting.
Ooh, okay.
We're going to dive into that.
All right. Welcome back. We were talking about partnerships and how they can expand your reach.
Yeah, amplify everything.
Right. And our entrepreneur had some great tips for finding those win-win collaborations.
Absolutely.
But how do you do that online? How do you bring that into the digital world?
Well, think about all those featured in sections you see on websites.
Yeah.
Or, collaborations you see on Instagram where people are promoting each other's stuff. That's digital partnership in action.
So it's leveraging each other's platforms, their audiences,
Yeah.
reaching more people. But how do you know it's actually beneficial?
Right. It's got to be more than just getting your name out there.
Exactly.
It's about finding those partners whose audience aligns with yours,
Right.
whose values resonate with your brand. Remember what we were talking about earlier, creating that emotional connection.
Yeah.
It applies here too.
So it's about finding businesses that really complement your own.
Exactly.
Not just with like products,
Right.
but their message, their brand identity.
You got it. It's all about creating that synergy
Yeah.
where it feels natural, authentic, to both audiences.
Right, yeah. Okay, let's shift gears a bit and talk about something this entrepreneur is very passionate about,
Yeah.
a seamless online presence. They
Yeah.
really talk about it being just as important as a physical storefront.
Absolutely. And it makes sense.
Yeah.
I mean, think about it.
Yeah, I think we can all relate. Right?
We've all experienced trying to navigate
Yeah.
a terrible website, a confusing online ordering system.
Yeah, it's frustrating.
Ugh, it's the worst.
It really is. So
Yes.
what are some key things food businesses should be focusing on when it comes to that online presence?
Well, first and foremost, your website needs to be user-friendly, easy to navigate, visually appealing, optimized for mobile, obviously.
yeah.
Most people are browsing on their phones these days.
Yeah.
So your website needs to look good, function perfectly on that small screen.
And they really emphasized how important it is to have a smooth online ordering process, especially for mobile.
Absolutely. People are
Huh.
busy, they're hungry,
Yeah.
they want things to be quick and easy.
Yeah, I'm one of them, for sure. If it's too clanky, too hard, I'm going somewhere else.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
They will go somewhere else if it's difficult. And it's almost like you have to anticipate their needs.
Right.
Make the process effortless.
Intuitive.
Intuitive, yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
And don't forget about SEO. Search engine optimization.
So important.
So important. If people can't find you on Google, you're missing out on customers.
It's not enough to just have a website. People got to be able to find it.
Exactly. Okay, let's talk about paid advertising now.
Yeah, okay, yeah, this is a hot topic.
It's always a hot topic. And, our entrepreneur had some mixed feelings about it,
Right.
but they emphasized targeted strategies and careful tracking.
Mm-hmm.
So what's your take?
Yeah. What do you think about paid advertising in today's world?
Well, it can be powerful,
For sure.
but it's definitely not a set it and forget it thing.
Right.
Requires a strategic approach, careful planning.
Yeah, they really made the point about not just throwing money at ads
Oh, yeah.
and hoping for the best,
Absolutely. You have to be smart about it.
Mm.
It's going to be targeted,
Yeah.
data-driven.
Right. So understanding your target audience.
Exactly. Know where they hang out online. Craft compelling ads that speak to them.
Yeah, that really resonate. And then, of course, tracking your results, adjusting.
Yes. Analyzing, adjusting. It's a continuous process.
It sounds like it. Constantly experimenting, optimizing.
It really is. And that's why it's so important to have a really good understanding of your goals, your budget before you even start.
So you got to be strategic.
Yeah, strategic, not impulsive.
Right. Okay. So as we wrap up this deep dive, I want to touch on something that our entrepreneur really emphasized throughout all their advice. It's that importance of constantly measuring and adapting.
Oh, it's huge.
Yeah.
Not just setting things in motion, but tracking, analyzing, adjusting.
So being flexible, agile, always willing to learn and grow.
Exactly.
Yeah.
The food industry is constantly changing, and you got to be able to adapt to stay ahead.
Absolutely. And, one of the things I found so inspiring about our entrepreneur today
Yeah.
was their passion for continuous learning.
Absolutely.
They weren't afraid to experiment,
Try new things.
make mistakes.
Yes. That's the growth mindset. That's what sets successful businesses apart.
They see those challenges as opportunities for growth and innovation.
I love that. And I think that's such a powerful message for everyone, no matter what you do, embrace the messiness,
Yeah.
stay curious, never stop learning.
So well said. And to our listeners out there, we encourage you to take these insights, apply them to your own endeavors.
Don't be afraid to experiment.
Push those boundaries.
Yes.
And remember, in the food industry, you're not just selling a product.
You're selling an experience, a story, a connection.
Absolutely. Thanks for joining us on this delicious deep dive.
It's been fun.
Until next time.
Keep those taste buds tantalized and those entrepreneurial spirits burning